For 300 years, the Galactic Military Academy on Station Arcturus had forged the finest officers from over 200 species. At its helm for 4 decades was General Vexter, a towering Krillian whose forearms and chitinous armor were as legendary as his reputation. He'd seen countless cadets, but he had never trained a human. In the vast training yard, Cadet Sarah Chun stood at attention. At 5'6", she was a miniature figure amidst the giants surrounding her, the imposing Krillians, the bulky Borvaxians, the elegant Zenthari. As General Vexer began his inspection of the new class, the air crackled with a mix of curiosity and barely concealed amusement. "Humans, Vexter," Est's voice boomed across the yard, each word a hammer blow. "The newest species to join our alliance. Weak, fragile, short-lived." He came to a halt directly in front of Sarah, his immense shadow engulfing her. "I question the wisdom of accepting such delicate creatures to our ranks." Sarah's jaw tightened, but her face remained a mask of discipline. This was exactly what she had expected. Earth's entry into the Galactic Alliance was fresh and controversial. To many, humans were little more than emotional, violent primitives, unfit for civilized space. Vexter circled her, his multiple eyes scrutinizing her like a strange biological specimen. "Your species has barely left its home system," he continued, his tone dripping with disdain. "You possess no natural armor, no enhanced strength, no telepathic abilities. What, human, makes you think you belong here?" "Sir, I believe actions speak louder than anatomy," Sarah replied, her voice firm and unwavering. The general's mandibles clicked sharply, a sound she'd already learned signified deep irritation. "Insolence," he spat. "Your kind needs to learn respect." What happened next was so blindingly fast that the official inquiry later required the Academy-ass security footage to be slowed to 1/10 speed just to comprehend it. Vexter raised his primary right arm and slapped Sarah across the face with an open palm. In Krillian culture, it was a disciplinary gesture, not meant to cause serious injury, but the force behind it was immense. Sarah's head snapped to the side. For a single, frozen moment, the entire training yard fell silent. Then Sarah moved. Her left hand shot up like a viper, catching Vexer's descending wrist before he could even begin to retract it. Simultaneously, her right hand slid underneath, her fingers expertly finding the vulnerable joint between the general's thick chitinous plates. In one fluid motion, she twisted and stepped into his space, using pure leverage and momentum. There was a sickening crack as the Krillian's exoskeleton fractured. 4 seconds. That's all it took, from the slap to the sound of breaking bone. Just 4 seconds. Vexter let out a roar of pure shock and pain, collapsing to one knee. Sarah instantly released her grip, stepped back, and snapped back to perfect attention. The yard exploded into chaos. Instructors rushed forward. Medical drones swarmed the fallen general. Cadets from dozens of species just stood there, frozen in utter disbelief. Commander Telver, the Academy's second-in-command, was the first to reach them, his tentacles writhing in agitation. "Cadet Shun, you are confined to quarters." "Belay that order," Vexter growled, forcing himself back to his full, towering height despite the searing pain. His 3 remaining arms steadied him as he stared at Sarah, his eyes now holding a flicker of something new respect. The cadet defended herself within acceptable parameters. Telver was stunned. "Sir." "She broke your wrist." "I struck her first," Vexter stated, his voice flat and final. I forgot that human reflexes evolved through millennia of persistence, hunting, and brutal self-preservation. I forgot their homeworld's gravity is 30% higher than the galactic standard. I forgot that what appears weak may simply be efficient." He fixed his gaze on Sarah. "Tell me, Cadet, why did you stop at the wrist?" Sarah met his gaze without flinching. "Because the goal wasn't to win, sir. It was to stop the threat. Anything more would have been excessive force. It would have been dishonorable." The general's mandibles clicked again, but this time it was the unmistakable Krillian equivalent of a dry, appreciative laugh. "Restraint. Restraint. Restraint. From a species the Council dismisses as barbaric. He turned, his voice once again booming to address the stunned assembly. Let this be a lesson to every single one of you. Never judge a species by their appearance. Humans may lack our armor, our size, or our natural weapons, but they possess something that is perhaps far more dangerous: the discipline to be lethal, and the wisdom to choose not to be. He looked back at Sarah, cradling his shattered wrist. You'll make a fine officer, Cadet Jun. That is, if you can survive my training. And I promise you, I will not make the mistake of underestimating you again. Sarah's salute was crisp. I look forward to it, sir. As the medical team carefully escorted the legendary General Vexer away, a storm of whispers erupted across the training yard in a dozen different languages. The tiny human had done the impossible. She had put the Commandant on the ground in 4 seconds flat. By evening, the story was the talk of the entire station. By the next morning, it had reached a dozen worlds, and by the end of the week, recruitment applications from Earth had skyrocketed by 3,000%. The galaxy was finally beginning to understand a lesson humans had known all along. Size Azuna determines strength, and the deadliest weapon is often the one you never see coming.